Let's welcome in Alex Zietlow. He is Panthers beat reporter for the Charlotte Observer. Was out at the joint practice. Alex, thanks so much for taking this time. Now, I know you were paying attention a lot to Panthers offense, Browns defense. What did you see? Some of the takeaways from what you were watching?
The biggest takeaway that I found was the connection between Bryce Young and Tetaroa McMillan was alive and strong. Obviously, Tetaroa was the number 8 pick in this past April's NFL draft. He and Bryce have been building chemistry all off season, and that's really been the primary focus of this offense, really, beyond trying to figure out everything else and really elevating that offense and sustaining it from how good it was at the end of 2024. They had a lot of good connections. Like I said, Bryce also found Jalen Coker a couple times, who is like the fourth or fifth receiver on this depth chart. But the Browns did have a couple really good pass breakups. It was pretty, for my eyes, it was pretty even when it comes to how the Panthers offense and the Browns defense stacked up. One guy in coverage for the Browns that I thought was quite impressive was cornerback Chigozie Anusium. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He had a lot of responsibilities covering Tetaroa, and he did a pretty good job. Held up his side of the ball pretty well.
What about the defensive line? How did the Panthers O line do against the Browns D line? That's got to be a strength if the Browns are going to do what they want to do this year.
Yeah, one of the strengths of Bryce Young is his ability to be creative and extend plays. For my eyes, he Bryce didn't have to deal with a ton of pressure. I don't remember the Browns notching a sack on him. Of course, it's difficult when it's difficult to determine these things because based on the reporter's angle on the sidelines, sometimes there is a called sack that they just don't immediately call because you're not allowed to actually hit the quarterback in these situations. But Bryce was doing a lot. He was moving around a lot. He even had to scramble a couple of times, one of which yielded a touchdown. But you know, I like I don't think that the Browns should be too concerned about today's defensive line performance because they were pretty good. And particularly in the run game, Panthers' run game didn't look great. All of their splash plays really were through the air.
Um, the other guy that they have two high draft picks on that defense. You've got Graham, Mason Graham, who a lot of Browns fans wanted. They wanted Travis Hunter, and they trade back and take Mason Graham, and then Schlesinger, the middle linebacker. So the middle of that, did Schlesinger has flashed in camp. Did you see much from the middle linebacker?
I didn't see him make any plays in particular. Of course, I wasn't studying him as closely as probably your colleagues were. But you mentioned Mason Graham. He actually got into the middle and had a really couple nice pushes up the interior defensive line. And this is a guy that Panthers fans know quite well. In fact, there is a sentiment floating out there that if Mason Graham was available at 8, the Panthers either would have taken him or had a lot of opportunities to make moves, whether that be trading back or whatever. So Mason Graham is an interesting sliding doors moment. Of course, now the Panthers have Tetaroa, the Browns have Mason Graham, so it is what it is. But seeing him was interesting today.